All right, thank you very much for subscribing. Thank you very much. The subscribe button is here. And if you subscribe more than once, I'm increasing your salary this year. Anyway, thank you for subscribing. Thanks for leaving a comment. Thanks for liking. Thanks for sharing on all other platforms. May God bless you. Now that that is aside, this video is about my top 5. My top 5, wait for it, my top 5 brands that have embraced social media, that have used social media to improve the lives of Ugandans, that have helped in growing social media and delivery service. My top 5 brands that have done it for me in Uganda. And I won't say this year or next year or the other year or last year. No, my top 5, the ones that I've seen that they've done a tremendous work. Some of them I haven't really had, one-on-one conversations with them, but I believe and I've seen their work online. And this is where we need to go, guys. You're gonna need to embrace the fact that social media is part of life. It's a way to communicate. It's a way for you to deliver a service. It's a way for you to grow your business. It's a way for you to make sure that people get what they have paid for. People get their money's worth. Now, here are my top 5 brands on social media in Uganda. And they are not in any particular order, so don't get it wrong. If you work for one, don't think that, I placed you here because, no, they're not in any particular order. One of them is National Water and Sewerage Corporation. These guys are good, man. These guys will inform you about their, adjustments. These guys will inform you about what they are planning to do, where they are planning to do, how it's going to affect you. They'll use Twitter, they'll use Instagram, they'll use Facebook. These guys are one of my favorite social media brands. They've been able to interact with the customer and their bosses and the people that they work with. They've been able to tell us exactly what the problem is. Honestly and truthfully, these guys have been able to answer all our problems on social media. Like, you can be at probably midnight and have a problem with your water. If you tweet at National Water and Sewerage Corporation, trust me, these guys are going to reply you and they'll give you a time frame of when your problem is going to be solved, and they will make sure that your problem gets solved, and they'll get back to you to ask you if your problem has got solved. So among my top 5 Ugandan brands that have embraced social media in service delivery, National Water is among them. Another brand that has embraced National Water and has perfectly intertwined it with service delivery is none other than I know that you guys are going to kill me, but it's okay. Museveni, President Museveni online has been able to embrace social media. He's one of those people I did not expect, President Museveni and State House, I did not expect to be able to embrace social media and be able to communicate to Ugandans as well as he has done. But what you need to give up to this guy is that he has been able, if you look at his social media platforms, he has been able to mix the serious stuff with the fun stuff, but yet stay in the status of being president of a country. That's not easy at all, because we've seen presidents' handles being mishandled, having spelling errors, having issues here and there. But this guy has always just kept it together. Plus, he always shares a link to his website. Therefore, you can be able to go to the president's website, office of the president's website. I hope and wish that one day probably Uganda could have a handle that's meant for the president's office, so it can be used by different presidents over and over again to be able to communicate to Ugandans. So you don't have to follow President Museveni or President Besigye or President Bobby Wine or President Bebe Cool or President who else? Anyway, I'm trying to say that the president's handle and his office handles, whoever is managing them, man, you guys are doing a great job at telling us what's happening, where the president is. You've given us pictures, you've given us fun moments, you've given us jokes, you've given us quotes. Thank you very much. I think that we ought to give it up to these guys to, they have done well as a service delivery to Ugandans. We know what's happening and when it's happening. Thank you very much. The other brand that I am very proud of, very happy that they're online and doing a good job for me, is UMEME. UMEME UG. You guys are heroes. UMEME, one of those companies that work with the very tricky, they work in a very tricky business. They deliver a very tricky service, and which can be very dangerous. So they work with a very tricky item. And UMEME to be able to be online and take the insults that they get because of some of the failures that they incur, either because of nature, because of time lapses, because of unpredictability or something like that. I think UMEME for you, you take it for me, and that's why I'm putting you in the top 5 people, top 5 organizations that have used social media in relation to service delivery. These guys will respond on time about an issue. They will give you a reference number there and then, so your problem can be followed up and you can check in on it at any one time to, be able to solve an issue. The service delivery is a different question, but to be able to communicate with your clients that fast and in an industry that's tricky and hard and tough at times, because I can see the insults that people get to you. I mean, this is the only organization, one of the very few, I think, that has a parody account, meaning it's a really, really, really interesting time for you guys to be online. That is why I put you in my top 5 brands and organizations that have been able to use social media for service delivery in Uganda. NIRA, Uganda. These guys are responsible for national IDs in Uganda. And ever since the project was enrolled, these guys also got to online and started talking about registration, where to find your national ID, how to get your national ID, what issues you might affect. They've put up portals for Ugandans to get through and correct their names and correct their issues. Basically, these guys have really done a good job in connecting Ugandans and the national ID. If you want a national ID, trust me, you can get online, inbox them on Facebook or tweet them on Twitter, and your problem can be solved within minutes. That's why I'm putting you in my top 5 organizations that have been able to help Ugandans get service delivery. So if you're watching this video and you have an issue with your ID, or you haven't got your ID, or your name is missing, or your name was misspelled, head over to Twitter and get to NIRA Uganda, at NIRA UG. You can search for them and be able to tweet them. Your problem will be solved. Although we have issues with them, just like any other human-run organization. There's bound to be issues. I put them in my top 5 for that. The other organization I'm going to put up in my top 5 brands that have been able to help in service delivery with Ugandans is going to be a brand, it's going to be a business, and this is none other than Jesa. And I'm putting you in my top 5 not because you have a lot of following or you have a lot of interaction on your platforms. I don't know about that, but I saw a post on Facebook where a client had walked into a supermarket, bought milk, and the milk got spoiled, and these people came onto online angry, frustrated, and disappointed in your brand. They came out ranting, and trust me, when you guys came through, how you handled that particular situation for me caught my heart, and that's why I put you in top 5 brands that I respect online and I would absolutely vouch for in terms of service delivery to Ugandans. Jesa Uganda, you did a good thing. I hope that you do it for every Ugandan, and I hope that people can, other brands can also pick up on this. Join online and have your service cleaned out. You never know, your name could be marked by someone online, but if you're online and have a presence, trust me that your goods or your items or your services could be well represented in the public. Jesa, I put you in my top 5 brands that have been able to relate with Ugandans on social media in terms of your service delivery because of that act of kindness that you did to the lady. Imagine 2 cans of milk were spoiled and you guys delivered boxes of milk at her doorstep. I mean, how better can it get? So Jesa, I put you in my top 5 because of that. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for leaving a comment. You can also leave your brands that you feel and think that have helped in service delivery with Ugandans using the online platforms, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and probably YouTube. And until we meet in the next video, remember in 2019, no procrastination. Don't procrastinate about anything.